So the Ugandan equity market, if I remember correctly, is about $10 billion in market capitalization.
Yes.
And then your equity portfolio is probably around 500 million.
Yes.
So you've got a real challenge there,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Because
yeah.
you're a big equity holder in whatever you invest in. And what challenges do you face as a consequence?
So obviously the biggest challenge is illiquidity. The fact that there isn't that many. There's a couple of institutional investors, especially from both North America and Europe, who normally move the market. But certainly we move the market if we are involved. So a lot of them would be pension funds, hedge funds as well, tend to hold for the long term and then sort of move in and out, given the circumstances, especially happening on the exchange rate. And we find that we tend to hold obviously for the long term, and that tends to squeeze the liquidity out of the market. And you'll find that the liquidity is actually being driven really by the retail market, except when the block deals are done. Which is far in between. So obviously the first thing is liquidity. The second challenge would obviously be, especially on the private equity side, on the valuation, because there are not very many benchmarks to be able to, especially within Uganda. So we normally use either Kenya or South Africa for benchmarks on the private equity side. The third would be the tax regime. I told you about the withholding tax, the fact that we are a scheme have to pay tax on the proceeds, both on the dividend and also on the interest rate on the fixed income.
For Ugandan securities.
For Ugandan securities,
okay.
Yes.